That's correct. And that's why affirmations don't work.
Welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host Keegan, and this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, recovery issues, and topics. And today, we're diving into some truly powerful stuff with a guest who's walked the walk and is now helping others do the same. Her name is Sofia Torrini, a certified clinical EFT practitioner in hacking reality, and now she's teaching others how to do it. So, Sophia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And how are you? And thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm doing fairly well myself. I'm just excited to speak with you, figure out what all EFT has done for you and how meta-consciousness has changed the way you think and how it now helps other people do the same.
So I was like every other person, a high-stress corporate job, trying to climb the ladder like everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, because I was in survival, I had symptoms. I wasn't ill. I had some symptoms and a lot of stress. There was a wrong medical procedure done on me, an unnecessary surgery that almost cost my life.
Ooh.
So and I was not expected to live. So to make a long story short, I did live after being in the hospital for 23 days, but now I ended up with a lot of health challenges. And they wanted, of course, to remove some organs, and I kept on refusing because I could not answer one simple question. How can a super healthy person that just is having some pain overnight be all their organs shutting down? It just wasn't rhyming. And they kept on saying your body failed you, and I said I'm just having a hard time believing my body failed me. So I was an active runner. I was younger. I pretty much was very fit, which is actually what in the long run saved me. So I ended up getting some decent treatment outside of the medical establishment here, still the medical treatment, but I went to the top hospitals. I had gone to 25 doctors, and they all kept on kind of saying the same. So I ended up getting some conservative treatments, just healing, I should say, patching my symptoms. And so at some point, I started reading Dr. Joe Dispenza's books, and it started making sense to me. But there was one component that was missing. So he talks about brainwaves. He talks how the body gets sick, why does it get sick, and how our thoughts influence our reality and our body. He kept on saying you need to master your emotions, and I'm like, what? What? So I had tried EFT before, or I had heard about it. I shouldn't say I had tried, and I said, this stuff can't be real. So at this point, when you're desperate and you don't know what else to do, I said, let me give it a try. And I went full committed. And that is one thing that people need to know. Even though you see some benefits in the beginning, you really have to commit to it because there's ups and downs. And 18 months later, I got off all my pills.
Wow.
Thank you. So at that point, I could not go back to medicine. It was, I felt I was selling my soul for knowing that the system is flawed. You are a whole human being. You have 3 brains in your brain. You have your neocortex, which is your thinking brain. You have your limbic brain or mammalian brain, which is the emotional brain, and that's where the autonomic nervous system lives. And that's where all your health goes. And then you have your cerebellum. So those 3 brains have to be in coordination, is what spirituality calls mind, body, spirit. They have to be aligned for the person to start seeing results. So you just can't take one symptom and cut it out and say, this is it. And all medications, because I've been on a lot of them, I should say, they all have direct effects. Sooner or later, your body is going to give.
Yeah.
And you start feeling better. Ultimately, you start feeling lighter and you start feeling more in control of your life. And that's when I made a decision to study EFT. I wasn't sure I was going to become an EFT practitioner. But when I started getting clients, and I got one client, and I saw how she was changing her life,
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, there's something more to this here. And I studied meta consciousness, which is almost the same as German New Medicine. That gave an explanation why my body shut down. Really answered a lot of questions. It was a lot of the treatments they gave me. They gave me morphine. They gave me some other stuff. And the body had gone into once you get a negative sentence from a physician, the body picks it up. So before the surgery, they told me if you don't do the surgery, which I ended up not needing, you're not going to live. So of course, afterwards, the body heard that.
Mm-hmm.
So it responded with symptoms, because all health challenges are two things. Number one, a lowering of frequency.
Okay.
So the body's frequency has dropped. And number two, it's a biological response to your environment. So Chinese medicine has taught us that way, but didn't call it as a biological program. It's like your car. When you don't put any gas, it's going to start beeping, right?
Yeah.
But let's assume, because your body is a battery. And how do we know the body's a battery? Because the first thing they do when you die is they put two paddles to jump back to life. So we already know the body's a battery, and it has an electromagnetic field around it. And all disease, I said, is a lowering of frequency. What happens, the frequency is not correct, so the signals between the cells is drops. And they actually can measure what voltage between the cell, for cancer people, it drops to below 0.1. So we know it's a lowering of frequency. So let's say you have the car.
Okay.
You've decided you're not going to service it. And then a few weeks later, something else is beeping. And then a little later, something else is beeping. Eventually, what's going to happen, it might give you, one of the beeps says, it has no gas, and you look at it, but it does have gas, because you didn't service the body, the car all along, and then the signals get confused. So the same thing with us. When the emotions were coming up, we didn't know how to deal with it. We got these knots, these bodily sensations. We didn't know what to do with it. And then when the body reaches an overload, it's going to give you a panic attack if it's fear related. Or it's going to start malfunctioning. Now, new research has shown people who have panic attacks, they don't show up out of nowhere. They've shown up an hour before, and the person didn't know that.
Yeah, that would make sense. Having been through a couple myself, that definitely makes sense. Interesting. So, are you able to actually catch a panic attack before it actually? So what are the best symptoms to look for a panic attack?
Well, you need to. So let me make one correction. Once the panic attack has started, it's almost impossible to stop it. Before it starts, the bodily sensations and the looping thoughts, those you can interrupt. So you can do brain and heart coherence. You can journal, or EFT is very effective for that. And start tapping once you're feeling uncomfortable, because you've had one panic attack and then you got so terrified, the body has gotten programmed. And then the next time it's like a groove that you just fall into it. And there's something in the external environment that's triggering you. It's probably a trigger, and with your thoughts that have been programmed, now you're getting in a full-blown panic attack. So usually an EFT person needs about 7 to 10 sessions to clear panic attacks for good.
Wow.
So you don't need years like in psychotherapy, because we're addressing the bodily sensations. That's the ones you're avoiding. It's like the car. The alarms have gotten all off, and you don't know what to do. And now it's like 5 alarms everywhere and you don't know
Uh-huh.
what to do. And it's
Huh.
similar to attention deficit disorder because they don't know where to look. So they have a different coping mechanism. They shut down. They just
Yeah.
pay attention anymore.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So, essentially, it sounds like the EFT is a great way to reset the nervous system very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So EFT, and I'll make it very simple.
Okay.
EFT, let's assume there was a tiger here, okay?
Ooh.
So the body
Yeah.
usually doesn't know the difference between a real life experience or something that's created by thought alone.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's why you can close your eyes, and if I describe a particular food you like,
Hmm.
you will start salivating for that food, right?
Yeah.
So now let's take the tiger.
Okay.
So let's assume the tiger was here. You
Okay.
wouldn't sit to tap. The first thing
Yeah.
you're going to do, you pack up and leave. So the physical act of tapping
Uh-huh.
gives the body a message that I'm safe. That's
Mm.
number one. Now, if we add some breathing, because I do my tapping a little differently, you breathe to the belly and you breathe slow.
Mm. Okay.
We know breath work already
Mm.
changes your state of being. So now you're changing your brain waves.
Mm.
You cannot have a panic attack on alpha brainwaves. The only
Huh.
time you have a panic attack is when you're in high beta brainwaves.
Hmm. I never would have thought about that. Interesting. So, essentially, the trick though is someone needing to recognize what trigger is going on so that they can address it, correct?
Correct, but they could just start with what
Huh.
they're feeling. Even though I have the sensation in the body, and I'm really scared because I'm going to have another panic attack,
Huh.
and then you put something positive.
Oh.
I'm open to seeing, I acknowledge this is what my body's feeling, and I'm open to seeing things differently. And you
Okay.
just express what it is that you're feeling. And if we acknowledge what the emotion is, feel it,
Hmm.
the energy drains. So it's the avoidance of feeling the emotion and looping in the head
Huh.
that causes the panic attack, because you're projecting the worst case scenario. Because of past experiences,
Hmm.
there's something is coming up, and now you have an external trigger. Immediately, the mind is projecting the worst case scenario. Now you got into a panic attack, but something else
Yeah.
triggered you. But the trigger started an hour ago before the actual physical panic attack.
Huh. Yeah, that's so interesting. And it's really good to know that you can sit there and actually interrupt it and do something about it without necessarily having the hold of what the trigger was.
Huh?
Because I know for myself, it would have been one of those things that I would have been like, all right, well, what started it? Because that's how I'm going to fix it. But at the same time, if I'm just stuck in this panic loop, then there's no chance I'll ever be able to get to that trigger in the first place, you know?
Correct. And so we try to avoid, so the analytical mind is what separates you from the subconscious. So
Mm.
something in your subconscious mind got activated because you, as Keegan, your
Mhm.
5% brain, your neocortex, does not want to have the panic attack.
Yeah.
And may say for a second, I am safe, but you have a 95% saying, no, you're not safe. Remember the past. It didn't go very well. And somehow there's an external trigger. This is the Pavlov conditioning. I don't know if you were ever taught in school, the
Mhm.
2 dogs and the bell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so as long as you have an external trigger, which could be an emotion,
Hmm.
an image, or a feeling, or some thought pattern,
Hmm.
then you're going to go just like the dogs salivated. They were
Mhm.
even salivating when the food wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what is happening to us.
Huh. Okay. So we're essentially conditioning ourselves to freak out over nothing sometimes.
Yes, because we're looping in our head. And
Huh.
the best way to do is just feel the emotion. So when you're asking, what is causing it? You're in
Mhm.
the analytical brain. We don't want to be in the analytical brain. We just want to say, even though maybe you do know what's causing it, but let's say you're a beginner at this.
Mhm.
Even though I feel, I don't know, I'm feeling weird. Something's coming up. I am open to exploring whatever this feeling. I don't know what it is.
Huh.
I'm open to finding a place of peace.
Okay.
And you keep on doing it. And if you do it with some breathing
Mm-hmm.
and breathe in the belly, your brain waves are changing. You only need a couple of minutes of this to start physically calm down. We're not talking 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You need about 3 to 5. And if you're breathing slowly, it will start calming down. I mean, they taught us about the breath. You must have heard the 4, 6, 8, right?
Yeah.
To consciously bring down your brain more. But the physical act of tapping is tapping on your body's meridians. There's a system. That's the same meridians the acupuncturists are using. Exactly the same.
Huh. That's really cool. So I saw that you were tapping on the side of your hand.
I start here because it changes the body's polarity. So I always
Wow.
start with that, and I always start with even though. Why? Because what wires together fires together, right? That's Head's law of Donald Head, right? One of the neuroscientist laws.
Yeah.
So we want to acknowledge what we're feeling, but we don't want to solidify it. So even though I'm feeling so scared and I know something's coming up, I'm scared I'm going to have another panic attack. And I'm open to exploring what is causing this. And this is what I'm feeling for right now. You're not saying it go away. You're just acknowledging it. And all the body wants to is to be heard. That's what the body wants. It wants to be heard. You, not you, me as well. We shut it down. And when it got exhausted, it hits you up with a disease or a 2x4, like a panic attack. So that's exactly what's happening. And then you can go through the body parts. It's good to put your awareness where it is. So if some people get it in the stomach, some people get it in the heart, some people get migraines, right? So you're just saying, even though where do you get your panic attacks? Where's the sensation before you get them? Do you know, is it your stomach?
For myself personally, it was right around diaphragm.
Okay.
So
is it fear or discomfort or what comes before? Like anxiety starts to show up?
For the panic attacks that sent me to the hospital, it was a bit of fear of losing my life, and then just also anxiety about what was going on, because I had no idea what was causing immense pain in my chest.
Okay, so even though I have this immense pain in my chest and I'm getting in so much fear, maybe there's something wrong with me and I could lose my life. So I'm breathing in the belly. I'm open to, I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling, and I'm open to finding a place of peace. And even though I'm so afraid I could lose my life, and I'm not ready to go. And I'm having so much pain in my chest.
Ooh, dude.
I'm open to exploring what's going on, and I acknowledge this is where I'm at. This fear, this fear, and so much pain in my chest. I think something wrong. It just feels as if I'm dying and I could die. This is what I'm feeling. I acknowledge this is where I'm at, and I'm open to finding a place of peace. And then you do that. Usually you speak out loud. You would be repeating what I said. And then you can this fear in my, wherever it is, this terror in my chest, this fear in my chest, whatever it is. And you can, after 2-3 rounds, it should drop.
Okay. That's very interesting stuff. And it's funny because whenever you said that the body just wants to be heard, before you finished saying what you were saying, my body was like, I just want to be heard, man. And I actually had some tears start to well up a little bit, and I was like, what is going on here? This is weird. And then as you were talking about that, just kind of guiding it through my if I were having another one at the moment, I could feel a little bit of release is the best way to kind of describe it, because whenever whenever that kind of sensation's happening, it's so easy to latch onto it and hold on to it,
Of course.
because it's a scary feeling. So like you kind of have to, like, I guess, remember what it is just in case for next time, right?
Yep. Yeah, so we clear it. So we're an electrical being, right? And
Mhm.
around us there's an electromagnetic field. So
Mhm.
usually a current has to complete. So we've been programmed in such a way. Let's say you're watching a scary movie, and then all of a sudden, or something happens to you. The first thing you do,
Yeah.
and the breath stopped.
Mhm.
That's what holds the imprint in the cell. But if
Mm.
you knew, and as a practice, did cyclical breathing, because all breath work they talk to you about, it has to be continuous.
Mhm.
The circuit closes, and even though there was fear for a moment,
Mhm.
you were able to release it, and it
Mm.
didn't go into your cells. And each organ
Mm.
holds a specific emotion. So emotions are stored in the body. We know that from Chinese medicine, but we also know it from La Violette and the Maps of Consciousness of Dr. David Hawkins. So
Mm.
they don't get stored in the file cabinet by the intensity, but what type of emotion. For
Hmm.
example,
Okay.
the lungs hold powerlessness or fear for life. That's why during COVID, all people had lung issues because they were
Huh.
told they were going to die.
Huh.
Kidneys hold fear as well. The liver holds anger.
Ooh. Okay, that makes sense.
Stomach and the digestive tract, things that you cannot digest or you don't want to digest, depending what the situation is.
Ooh. Huh. That's interesting. So if someone listens to their body, they can actually maybe tell what emotion they're feeling, even if they can't place it themselves.
Right, right. They will get a sensation and then you can look up. So if there's like the bones are brittle, you don't feel strong enough. So usually
Mm.
people have rheumatoid arthritis, uh,
Mm.
they don't feel strong enough. They've gotten so much abuse in their life or whatever story they had, so they don't feel strong to stand up.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the bones, the knee sometimes, if it doesn't move, you can't move forward. Also, the
Mm.
left versus the left side, depending on who you follow, tells
Mm.
you if it's a masculine, is it related to masculine energy? So it could be a male in your life, or
Mm.
this is the feminine side or the family side. It
Mm.
would be related to female energy. So you can identify where the conflict is coming. So it's like a roadmap.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like your car. It says if you get this wrong, and then intuitive, and when they give you those manuals for the cars, they say check this, that. It's not always accurate, but eventually, sooner or later, you got it full correctly. It could be one or two things. So that's how the body works.
Huh. Very interesting. So essentially, you can clear up almost anything, right? What are some of the things that you don't think are easily cleared necessarily, though?
No, almost everything is cleared. It just takes a little longer for certain things. So
Okay.
a lot of people like to work with the now. I
Huh.
only
Yeah.
start with the now and go
Okay.
to the past. Why? Because when you were a baby, up to
Hmm.
the age of 7, first of all, you started with delta brainwaves, which is why babies sleep all the time. So if you've ever seen a baby, the first 6 months, all they do is they sleep, right?
Huh. Yeah.
And then they go to alpha, theta, and then they eventually, by 7 or 13, depending on the person, they start having a combination of all the brainwaves and beta brainwaves, which is the cognitive ones.
Hmm.
But if you notice, the alpha, theta, and some people in delta, they use in hypnosis. That's how you get hypnotized. So what does
Hmm.
that tell us about us? Your
Hmm.
first 7 years, you're getting programmed.
Ah. Huh. Ooh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yep,
Huh.
you're getting programmed. So all your behaviors
Huh.
based on all experiences. So let's say your dad was very critical,
Hmm.
and no matter what you did, you never praise. Even if you brought a 98, well, you should have gotten 100. Eventually, you're going to start learning not feeling good enough. So you go to life through life experiences and you're shy. You're not feeling, or you learn to overcompensate, but then you create these other behaviors, right? So all patterns start between the first trimester in the womb, the moment the body, the baby, the embryo gets a heartbeat, because it still gets programmed from the mother through the amniotic fluid.
Yeah.
And then it continues till about 13, and now you're getting programmed. So most of your patterns are coming from that time group. So let's assume you witnessed your parents having an affair.
Okay.
Depending on how you cope, either you're going to make sure you're going to overcompensate. I will make sure I'll never get an affair. But the majority of people will end up unconsciously doing the same thing.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too, but not a good way to look at it.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens to alcoholic people. They saw it in the house and they did that. Now, some people, because it was so painful and because the person was so determined, they decided they will do anything not to become an alcoholic. But they made that decision somehow earlier in their lives, and then eventually they don't ever become alcoholics. I mean, we've heard stories of successful people. I grew up so poor that I couldn't even think of being poor, and they become so successful. And then you get the other person who grew up so poor but felt so powerless, and they end up being poor again, which is why they say the apple falls under the tree, right?
Never falls far from the tree, yeah. Huh. And that would make a lot of sense.
All experiences and all beliefs are stored in the brain and the body. So the brain is a recorder.
Okay.
It records everything.
Yeah.
You know, Candace Pert, who was, I think she was a Harvard person, found out that the body is the subconscious mind. So everything gets stored in the body. And in 1988, a French psychologist, I don't know if it was a psychologist or psychiatrist, found out also emotions get stored in the brain. And memories are held between two neurons. That's where your memories are. They're between two neurons, but you can't say, oh, my past is where? It's always in here somewhere. So if we can prune those synaptic connections and what holds emotions and beliefs, what actually holds beliefs, I should correct myself, is emotion. It's not the thought that's holding the emotion. The emotion holds many beliefs. So if we can start releasing the emotion, which is the glue, and then start pruning those synaptic connections by different techniques, and that's where hacking reality is. Now you're rewriting what's in your brain. You're creating new synaptic connections. And I'll give you an analogy. There's a park, right? And there's no road, but you've seen the footprints of other people. You're going to go there. But let's say you decided one day to go another way. Over a period of time, if you never go that way, that's going to wash out because it's a mud road with the rain. And then if you keep on going this way, that's what you're going to create. Same thing happens in the brain.
Okay.
So you prune the old ones by not allowing to go to those thought patterns, but first you have to drain the emotion. Because the emotion is what creates chemistry. And now if you keep on re-imprinting a new memory, hacking reality creates a new story, a more empowering story. Once you take the pain of the terrible experience you have and you see that you actually survived it. Okay, so let's say you were beaten up and we clear all the pain of being beaten up, and then you realize, oh my goodness, I became a loving person and I survived it and I never wanted to become. Now it's an empowering experience.
Yeah.
And by creating this new empowered situation, why I was able to survive, you're actually moving to a parallel timeline as well.
Interesting. So You said that cutting the synapses that hold the bad beliefs and everything.
The bad memory, emotions, and beliefs. That's
Yeah.
correct.
That was hacking consciousness.
Hacking reality, it's called.
Hacking reality. Sorry. So what exactly? And that also makes sense that if you don't clear out the emotion to the beliefs, then that's why a lot of people end up falling back into old habits and everything they're trying to get out of. Right.
Affirmations don't work. So let's say you're broke.
Yeah.
And you keep on saying, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. Your body knows you're broke. So it's not going to pass. But let's assume you've done some work, you've done 10 sessions or whatever, some sessions, and that fear of being broke is cleared. Now you have a clean slate because you've been draining that emotion. Let's discuss what emotion is. Emotion is energy in motion. And what does emotion hold? Information. And how does it get produced? From the limbic brain. Remember I told you in the beginning we have 3 brains? So when you were growing up, your thoughts triggered certain emotions to prepare you how to handle the environment. But as a child, you were not taught how to feel the emotion. Energy can never be created or destroyed. That's the first law of thermodynamics. It can only be transmuted. So it gets stored in the body. It gets stored in your cells to prepare you to not do anything. But eventually you grow up and mature, and you can handle certain things that a 5-year-old could not handle. But if you've never processed your emotions, your body thinks you're 5 years old. So it's not going to let you.
Huh. That makes a lot of sense, oddly enough. So that's why whenever we're sitting there and it's like, we've tried this, we've tried that, and nothing's working, it's because there's still a part of us that believes that we're still in that moment experiencing everything again, right?
That is correct. Absolutely correct. Let's take a look at the movie Groundhog, which is a classic, right? So he's on the hamster wheel. Every day he wakes up, it's the same story. He's expecting the reality to change, but he hasn't changed. When he finally changes and gives up, it changes. Now, in real life, once you drain the old patterns, then, and you create new synaptic connections, you will get a new reality. And the body now can go and evolve. The body's trying to protect you. Let's say you were a kid and your father was very abusive to your mom. Just make up a scenario. And you're a little kid and you saw this abuse. And every time you wanted to speak up because you saw him lose his temper, you couldn't speak up. So now you're working for a job and you're wanting to ask for a raise. And for some reason, you can't speak up. Maybe the person has some similarities with the father. Maybe he loses his temper, and every time you try to speak or ask for something at work, you see him so angry, you're not going to speak up. If we clear that belief and that emotion, I should say, with all the beliefs that acquired, or maybe the dad said, this is the most common, no matter what you do, you're not good enough, you don't deserve anything. So now you go to the job, you work like a slave, you inside know you're good enough, but your boss is not treating you with any decency, you're never going to ask for that raise.
Yeah.
And why? The body's protecting you, because if you as a child spoke up, let's say in this case, dad's abusive, he hits the mom all the time, you're only 5. If he hits the mom that's 30, what do you think he's going to do to the 5-year-old?
Yeah, exactly.
So the body is protecting you. So, okay, no, you don't speak up. When you see a lot of anger, you run away. Anger is not good.
Yeah. So it really does highlight how something that happened way in the past can affect something seemingly irrelevant, but it actually has a whole lot of relevancy.
Correct. And all you need to do is trace what is it that you're feeling in the now?
Mm-hmm.
Connect with the body. Where are you feeling it? And what is the belief?
Okay.
After you do a few rounds, let's say you can ask, do I have a past memory similar to this, or this is related to something? And the subconscious mind always gives you an answer. I can't tell
Okay.
clients.
Yeah.
I'll ask them, how old do you think you are? And they'll say, I'm 7. And then
Yeah.
they'll say, do you have a memory? And they said, well, it's not exactly the same. I said, it doesn't matter if it's the same. What is it that you feel? It's the same emotion or some variation.
Mm-hmm. And that makes a lot of sense. That what you said a little bit before was that the subconscious is the body. Like that makes a that makes a lot of sense whenever I think about it that way, because it's like if there's that consciousness part of me that, like in the dual consciousness theory, there's the part of us that can think and talk and all that, and then there's the part that can't. That would be the subconscious, essentially, would be the body, right? It is the intelligent being that is with us that just can't form words.
Correct.
And
Just like the car.
yeah, exactly. Huh.
The car can't speak back, but it can speak. Now
Yeah.
putting AI in it and it can speak. But
Yeah.
originally, it couldn't speak.
Huh.
It just
And-
started giving you these sensations, or you'd hear a noise, or you'd hear the gear, or you see a red light bleeping. So the bodily sensation, when you hear, let's say, a noise in the car, maybe the equivalent is you feel this tightness in your chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you don't know what to do with it. You immediately panic. Oh my goodness. I might, especially if it's around the heart and there's your heartbeat changes. It's either a panic attack or I'm dying or something, or something's wrong here. And it's an overload.
Gotcha. So whenever we've done, or we're working on clearing out the energy of the emotions to then sever the beliefs that are holding us down, that is the act of hacking reality, or is there more to that?
Well, there's more. So with EFT, do the first part, which is that. Then after the younger self, because we go back in time. So we find out you were 7. We speak to the 7-year-old. You don't answer the questions for the 7-year-old. You wait, and intuitively you get an answer. And to be surprised, my clients are better than me. When I started, I was getting almost nothing. So these are brand new people that have no tapping experience, and they immediately can hear the younger self. And it's at this. Remember, because you as an adult can see it differently, but 7-year-old cannot. So you get the emotion and the belief. We clear that. Once we know it's 0 or neutral, then we ask the younger self, how would you have liked this to play out? And they come up with an image. So remember, memories or images are stored between two neurons. So they come up with a new memory, and now they have a new emotion and a new belief. And we keep on feeding it inside the body and around the space. Now what you're doing is you're creating a new neural pathway.
Oh, okay. Huh. That sounds really really similar to something that I've been trying myself ever since I've started my real serious healing journey. And it was similar to the fact that if I started to have a nostalgic moment of heartbreak or something, or a relationship similarity, and it's crap, that's in line with this new relationship, and it's making me think of this old one. It's okay, well, that's not the old one, but let's take that energy, that feeling, and just replace that memory with this good one that's happening right now. But it's kind of hard to do that sometimes.
Because you didn't drain the old one. So that you drained first the old one.
Okay.
And then you put the new one. I'll explain why. So you've seen waves, right? They have valleys and it goes up, right?
Yep, valleys and peaks.
Valleys and peaks, right? So if you have a wave the opposite direction, it's going to cancel out. You can't move forward to imagine the positive feeling. But if we drain the old one, And now you put a new wave that's positive, it's going to go and flow because nothing is canceling. And how do I know that? Because the Bible says that, even though I'm not a Bible fan. So it says in the beginning, first there was the Word, and let there be light. And what does a word do? Creates a vibration. How do we measure vibration? By waves. So it's the same way we use canceling devices, right? We use an opposite frequency to cancel out the noise. So in your case, you have a negative memory that's already stored in the body because that already has a neural pathway. So you have a thought that's an electrical charge. The emotion is electromagnetic. And now you're trying to feel happy by using your conscious mind, but that's only 5% because your subconscious is 95%. You're trying to rationalize and try to feel love and happiness by saying it's not the same. Yet your body's saying, no, I'm not sure we can go there. We need to look at it. So we always drain the first energy. We can't put lipstick on a pig.
Fair enough.
It looks funny. So you have to prune the old synaptic connection, and we prune it by draining its energy. And unfortunately, the simplest way, there's few modalities you can do it. EFT is the fastest. It's always feeling the emotion. So either doing somatic experiences, which is the same thing, breath work, by going into it, you're going to still end up feeling, you may end up crying, that releases the energy. But tapping is more controllable because you're verbalizing and you're feeling, and you're going at a pace that feels safer. Because if you've ever done breath work, after sometimes an hour, you could get tetany, your hands clam up, or get intense emotions because the body's trying to release the energy, but you don't know what to do with it. Do miracles with breath work. Some people, it works very well.
Yeah. And I can totally see why some people in breathwork wouldn't necessarily equate the best, because energy needs somewhere to go. And so for a person like me, I have a hard time sitting still. I have a hard time just maintaining. So whenever I do meditation, I'm either super in it really hardcore for a bit and run the risk of falling asleep, or I can't get in it at all, and so oh man.
So the body has to be safe in order to be in meditation. So that's why we need to calm the body down. Usually slow breathing is what calms it down. We know from the Heart Math Institute, which the military also uses, it does brain and heart coherence, which is an excellent technique. I don't know if you know it. And we could try it to show the audience, and you can tell me what do you feel.
Yeah, we can totally go for it.
So think of a positive memory that you are very grateful for it.
Does it have to be any kind of specific happy? Just a happy moment that I am grateful happened. Okay. Why is this hard? Let's see. All right, got it.
Okay, so I'll explain to you what you're going to do, and then we're going to close our eyes. So I'm going to have you can breathe up to 5, right? So we breathe slowly like this. And then we hold it for 5. But actually, we don't have to hold. We'll just send it out for 5 with pursed lip, but slowly. So I took the breath in. Let's say I'm fully full. And we're going to do it 3 times, but you're going to imagine that you're breathing through the heart, and you're breathing this gratitude through your heart. Why? Because you have an energy center right in the heart, and you can put your hand on the heart. So I will guide you.
Okay.
So close your eyes.
Okay.
And just breathe in this very grateful experience you are. And 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly. 5, 2, 3. Breathe in this gratitude again through the heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a last round. Imagine this energy is coming through the heart of gratitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your eyes closed and imagine the picture. Step in it as if it's happening now. Feel what you felt then now. Hear what you heard then now. You're so grateful. And maybe an inner smile is coming on your body and your face. And then radiate this feeling of gratitude all around your office space, around your heart. And then have it fill your body from the top of your head. This grateful experience comes from the top of your head and is feeling every cell of your body. And with you especially, you're going to put a little extra on your chest, your heart, and your diaphragm, and fill your rest of your torso, your thighs, your legs, and your feet. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I like that.
Are you calmer?
Yeah, for sure. And it was, I don't know how often or regular it is for people to get goosebumps whenever they do meditations or like energy kind of work and stuff, but that started giving me the like goosebumps all over and stuff. So yeah.
So that's telling you this is a good thing to do. So an hour before, let's say you're feeling uncomfortable, you can do this and then start tapping. Just, you don't even need to know scientifically how to do the tapping in the beginning. And just start expressing what you're feeling slowly by breathing in your belly. Now, whatever it is, it's going to come up. And if it's anger, you can express it. There's nothing wrong. The thing is not to go and attack the person in anger. When you're in your room by yourself, you can express it because we want to drain the energy. That's all we're doing it. And then the body will thank you because you listened to it.
So it's strange because during this whole conversation, I can feel my body sitting here going like, all right, like it's good. It's go time. It's time to like let some stuff go. And I'm sitting here going like, oh crap. Like I've got some work to do after this episode because it's like my body is recognizing that this is something that has needed to have been done for a while in some regards and that's the whole point, right? Like I've tried a whole bunch of different things. I'm trying a whole bunch of different like approaches and each one has validity and works. But at the same time, I can still tell that there's like this little piece missing and I'm not sure what it is. And I think it was this. Like, it's crazy.
Whatever modality you're looking at, you have to see the three bodies: body, mind, and spirit. So here technically we're addressing all three. But the body and the mind are being addressed. The words are addressing the mind. The breath and the awareness and expressing it is addressing the body. And pretty much when you start changing your brain waves, you are connected with your higher self. So you're going to start to get information. But whatever modality is, you can't leave the body outside. So I don't want to put any modality out, but there's some research on Harvard with comparing EFT, because there's been clinical trials on EFT, that it's faster and more effective. Why? Because we're addressing the body too.
Yeah.
And it is something, it's your vehicle on planet Earth.
Yeah.
So you don't have a choice. You can't be invisible. And that's what you needed. It's like going scuba diving and you say, I'm going to go in scuba diving without a tank. Well, you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's why I said the body has to be respected. And once the body becomes your friend, it's going to help you. The body wants you to survive. That's why it created these programs when you were a child. It could,
Mm.
tell you, you don't speak up to the dad when he's drinking or he's angry, right? Or you
Mm-hmm.
don't do that
Mm-hmm.
because it was trying to protect you. If you spoke up, your dad could just throw you to the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's your job. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, no, but that's entirely correct too, because like whenever we're children, we don't know how to accurately perceive the world or anything like that. So even though we may have thought one way or another, to us as children, that's entirely correct and it is the truth. Like if something seems scary, it is life threatening, no matter who it was or the whole situation. Just if it was enough to be perceived that way, it was reality to the child. So it's something that a lot of people tend to downplay their own pain, and I think this is a way to have people accept what their own perception was and not judge themselves for it. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Huh. So, oh man, I've got a lot of questions. Real quick, where can people find you if they're needing a little bit more help?
Sure. They can go to my website, tapintourbestself.com. That's
Okay.
where they can get all the information. And I do 3 things. So I use a lot of EFT because that's the primary focus. But I also teach a neuroscience course that was designed
Ooh.
by Dr. Joe Dispenza, Change Your Mind, Create Your Results.
Huh?
So I think science is the precursor to experience. So we need to have the science for the people to understand. Because if I tell you this works, you're going to say it's woo-woo. But if I explain it to you and show you the proof, now you're invested. We know clinically that if you believe it's going to work because the science says so, you're going to get better results.
Hmm.
And I also offer intuitive readings for people who are confused, not knowing what the pattern is. And the intuitive reading shows you what trajectory you're on or possibly what's going on. And if you change the behavior, you change the result. You're not doomed. You're not predetermined. So
Okay.
if the reading is negative and it gives you what to change, you're going to turn that experience into a positive one.
Gotcha. That's
And I
awesome.
do offer a free masterclass, and I do offer a 30-minute consultation complimentary that they don't have to do, just to explore what's the best for them. So there's nothing for them to pay. And I like helping people. Really, I love this stuff and I love to teach it.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell you've got a passion for it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on a podcast helping out who knows how many people, you know? So, real quick, we are actually near the end of this episode, which really sucks because we have a game that we could play. We could go into a little bit of overtime, but I don't want to take up too much of your time.
I'm happy. If it's going to help the audience, I'm happy to.
Okay, well, why don't we just play a little bit of a game we call System Override? I'm going to hit you with a couple of prompts, and I just need you to give us whatever answer it is that comes to mind. So,
Excellent.
all right. So, if you're ready for System Override, our first question is, healing has to take a long time. Is that true?
False.
False. Love it. What's a belief or behavior you used to have that you used daily that you've since deleted or rewritten?
The belief that they told me I will never heal.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Yeah, I really like that. That's powerful. Number 3. What's one mindset people think is helping them heal, but it's actually keeping them stuck?
Keeping on checking on the symptoms of their condition and going onto Google and checking. And I'll explain why, because it implies separation. So if you have a condition, you need to get rid of what the outer world is programming. It ties to the previous question. They told me it was incurable. I stopped looking and I said, that's not going to be true for me. Because if I'm looking I'm in panic, remember my brain waves changed? Now I'm getting programmed to believe what I'm reading.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh. I'll keep that in mind for myself. Number 4. What's one new belief or practice someone listening could adopt today that would change everything?
Every day is a new day.
Ooh, okay. Every day is a new day. That is absolutely correct. um, and what is number 5? What is a common phrase people say to themselves that signals that they're in survival mode?
I'm not good enough. I can't do this, or there's something wrong with me. These are the 3 common. I can't get it right. There must be something wrong with me.
Ooh, okay. I'll have to keep those in mind for myself. And then number 6, if someone's feeling stuck right now, emotionally, physically, energetically, what's the first question they should ask themselves?
What is it that I'm feeling to be experiencing this? Not why. What is it that I'm feeling? And they can check with the body.
Ooh, okay. So not why am I feeling it, but what am I feeling it and how am I feeling it in my body?
Right. We want to get the wisdom from the body, not the analytical brain. The why goes to the analytical brain. It's the brain that caused the problem, not the body. The body is the receiver.
Fair enough. Okay, I love that. Well, Sophia, thank you for playing System Override with us. And because you have just broken some codes for everyone, you've earned the title the Inner Code Breaker for Retrieving Sanity. So,
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
of course, I appreciate you playing System Override. I appreciate you being on the show and just sharing your wisdom and knowledge and everything, because this is going to help me. This is going to help all the audience. And who knows what is going to happen whenever someone just decides that maybe they've actually got to listen to themselves a little bit more, you know? I've got to ask, though, do you think that we could see you on in the future so we could dive a little bit more into EFT?
I'd be happy. We can do a full demonstration with the hacking reality
Yeah.
and finding a younger version. So
Ooh.
I'm open to the challenge. All you need to do is be open to share what the problem is
Okay.
and to address something from the past so they can see the whole process.
Okay.
Remember, we don't want to do the now. The now is a reflection of the past. So if the younger self gets healed and then we re-imprint a new image, right, the new neural pathway, you're going to start seeing results. Yes, I'd be happy to. I'd love to.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you very much. It's going to be absolutely wonderful to do that with you and see what all experiences actually happen and how everything plays out afterwards, you know? It's going to be great. But do you have anything left for... Oh, I got one more question. I forgot.
Yeah.
Sophia, the name of this podcast is Retrieving Sanity, and we explore how all facets of living life impact our mental health. Looking at the incredible motley adventures of your life, what does retrieving sanity personally mean to you today, and what's one practice or perspective you believe is crucial for anyone on that journey?
Okay, so retrieving sanity for me is not being in survival and in these loop thoughts that I was. And I did have a lot of anxiety and unable to sleep. It's not one specific thing, but the first thing was meditation. But I needed something to calm my super anxious body. And so I would combine both modalities as the ingredient that propelled me forward and to be happier in my life and not take any more pills. Saved my pocket as well financially, because medications are expensive.
Yeah, they are, unfortunately. Okay, well, thank you very much, Sophia, for that wonderful insight, and thank you just for everything that you've provided to us today, because I know I'm walking out of here a little bit healthier and happier and excited to have some experiments with my own psyche. And I hope everyone else out there has gotten the same kind of impression and everything. So everyone, be sure to check out her website. And that was, let me pull it up again for the people at home that are watching. So it is www.tapintouryourbestself.com. And everyone out there, if you're not able to remember that. You can always go by retrievingsanity.com, check out a list of the guests and all their websites. And Sophia, I'm excited to speak with you again, and I'm just super happy and honored that you were on the show tonight.
Thank you very much. And may I leave a message for your audience?
Of course you may.
So no matter where the person is or wherever you are at, if you're having a different desire, whether it's health or something else, there's a version of you that's calling you, and that exists. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that desire. So if you're having a desire to be whole or more wealthy or to do something different, it's your future self calling you to become better. And you can actually get there no matter where you're at. There's many testimonials of people who were at their last days. I wasn't expected to live. Here I am. 22 years later, actually, not 22, 18 years later. So there you go.
That's awesome. Thank you for that little bit of passion and what's a really good word for that? Like ethereal spirit, right? Like it's something that just lives on, and I think you get to pass that on to people just by sharing it yourself.
Yes.
So
thank you very much.
Of course. Everyone out there, thank you for listening to Retrieving Sanity on WDJY 99.1 FM. And as always, try to love yourself, love others if you can, but love yourself first because that's important. And just try to be a good person. It's not that difficult, but really just thank you for listening. Again, check out Sophia's website because you've got to tap into your best self. Trust me, this stuff is going to change your life. And be sure to check us out next week. And once again, thank you for listening on WDJY 99.1 FM. We'll see y'all next week. Much love. Shalom.